Hello, gentlemen. I recently did a stream where I learnt a little bit about Elixir and I used the Phoenix framework to build a small web app that has, I guess, real-time collaboration. Not really, but essentially I built something where I can track the cursor moving around and display it to every other user. So this video is just a short recap so that you don't have to watch a 3-hour video to get caught up to speed. So here we have the Phoenix website. I went through here, read their guides, installed Elixir through Homebrew, and installed Phoenix with this command here. And then I created a project using mix and the Phoenix new command like this, mix phoenix.new dot. And it created lots of boilerplate for me, which I wasn't super interested in. And it also assumed that I wanted a database using a library called Ecto, which is probably handy in most situations. But in this case, I really just wanted to test out the presence feature of Phoenix. And if we go on to back to the Phoenix website, you'll see that channels and presence are both under a category called real time. So you can read a little bit about presence here. Essentially, it is the kind of feature that allows you to make it known when other users are, say, visiting the same page or doing things. So if we go back to the code here, I will take you through the important bits that I added. The first thing is first. Well, let's just look at the files. Most of the things that I changed were under lib. We've got some modules in here, sockety thing and sockety thing web. Sockety thing is kind of just the application overall, and then sockety thing web is something that we're running within the application. And the very first thing I probably would go through is the channels. In here we have this user socket module, and this effectively just dictates when someone connects, they get a random viewer ID assigned, and they're put into the presence channel. So if we go and look at this presence channel, this module is effectively responsible for tracking the viewers and broadcasting their actions to all of the other viewers. So there's a bunch of methods in here which are kind of like callbacks. So we have a method here for joining the channel, and you can see that there's actually two methods here. So there's a bit of overloading happening where if they pass a valid topic, then they will be allowed into the channel. Otherwise, they'll be rejected. And then down the bottom, we have handling for the cursor where we track its position and we send out a broadcast. So that's the presence channel module. If we go a little bit further up, you can see we have, so what we're in right now is presence channel, but then there's, if we go further up, there's just presence, and it is defining just some configuration options for Phoenix presence. So it's importing this module and then using it. If we go a little bit further up, back to sockety thing as opposed to sockety thing web, you can see the application definition. And most of this again is boilerplate, but what I have added in here is I've added in PubSub and I've added in the presence application here. And the way this all, so when we start the application, it's going to run these children, but then the way that the tracking and the connections are actually happening is that when you go to the actual website, there's a bunch of endpoints, and depending on those endpoints, it's going to do certain things. So if we look at the endpoints right now, we've got a bunch that are sort of added in by default, but I've added in here this user socket, which is going to create a WebSocket. And that's pretty much all the Elixir code that I did. And then the rest was in JavaScript. So if we look at app.js, this is under assets. I've pulled in the Phoenix dependencies here. So we've got socket and presence. And then if we go a little further down, we have a bunch of boilerplate still. I didn't write most of this. And then this is the code that I've added. We have a div, which is basically just a container that's wrapping the whole site so it can display the cursors inside. And then we've got some methods for rendering the cursors. And then we have the establishment of the WebSocket connection. And we have some handlers when that socket is connecting. And then we're taking that WebSocket and we are creating a channel with it. And that channel also has handlers implemented for when particular events come in. So here we've got an OK event, error, and timeout events. And then we have the cursor event. And this is simply logging out the cursor. And then we're taking that channel and piping it into the a new presence, which is what Phoenix provides as a JavaScript SDK. And here we're handling the joins and leaves. So we're removing the cursor if they have left the page. And when someone else joins the presence server, we're logging out how many people are currently online. And then this bit at the bottom is whenever someone moves their pointer, it is going to push an event to the presence channel, which is then going to get broadcasted to everyone else. So now that I've gone through and explained that, we can take a look at how it works in the browser. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to start the server. I can do that with this command here. And it is now up and running. I'm just going to move this terminal over to the side and this one over to the side. I'm going to go to loopback on port 4000. And this is kind of the Phoenix page that comes by default. So this is like the dev page, whatever. And you can see that when I actually move my cursor in this window, it is sending a whole bunch of updates on the console over here. Now, what happens if I was to open another tab? Let me just put this into the corner, make another tab, bring it down to the bottom. And we're going to go to the same page. Now, if I move my cursor around, we will see it also moves around at the top. And let's say I leave it somewhere and I make another tab. And then I move that tab, you see there's another one that appears. If I do another one, now there's 3 appearing. And these are all considered different clients because remember they have random IDs, whereas if you had some kind of authentication in whatever app you are running, you could, the viewer ID could be sort of deduped in that way, I suppose. But yeah, so that's what I built on stream. That's the recap. I'm going to continue with this. I'm going to put it onto my blog and then run the server on a cloud instance and see how much it can handle. So that's the recap. I just saved you 2 hours and 50 minutes. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Bye.